I'm the chair of the Housing and Land Committee. And welcome. This is December the 7th. It is our last housing meeting for the year. And I just welcome everyone. Is a representative from the Dole Fund on?
Yes, I believe you have two of us. I'm Larry Gordon.
Hi, Larry. How are you? Happy
I'm well.
holidays.
How are you? And I believe John McDonald is with us as well.
Hello,
Okay.
everyone.
Hi. So when you guys are ready, we're ready for you.
Okay.
You can start, Ralph. I'm sorry. You can start recording.
I did already.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Gordon. Thank you, Mr. McDonald, for joining us. And I also want to thank Peter Fine for making this happen very quickly. So thank you so much, guys.
Well, we're happy to be here. I think it was in 2019, I had the pleasure of coming with the representative of Peter's group, Bolivar, Dan Cobley, to make a presentation to the Housing and Land Use Committee to talk about the project. And I'm glad to say 2 years later, we're about to complete the project on time and on budget. And we're here tonight to share with you our marketing plan, which I sent to Ralph over the weekend, and hopefully he can put up and I can go through the details with you and bring you up to speed. As of now, the building is contemplated to complete and receive its temporary certificate of occupancy in early January. We're still waiting on some Con Ed issues. I haven't asked Ralph to help, but we have HPD hopefully helping us, or the councilman, but usually Con Ed is our last issue to get over. DOB is scheduling inspections after that. The building is 151 units. There's a commercial component on the first floor, which we do not own or operate. That's still in the hands of Boulevard Builders, or Boulevard Development is our partner. So the Doe Fund will actively own and manage the 151 unit project upstairs. It is 20% supportive, so 31 tenants have a co-concurring existing issue, and they'll be referred from the Human Resources Administration. The Doe Fund provides full-time security 24/7, as well as program staff. There is a program director hired. There'll be 2 clinical caseworkers and an admin on staff. In addition, we'll have night managers, as well as full-time security, a live-in super, and a porter as well. So from 151 units, we're talking about 31 supportive and 1 super, which leaves us with 119 units, which are going to be placed on the Housing Connect website, where we understand through our marketing agents as of December 10th. There's a 60-day marketing period that will be on the website. In addition, advertisements will be listed in the Bronx Times, AM Metro New York, the Daily News, the China Press, and the Able News. Community board letters will be sent out from our third-party consultants, Wavecrest, and they will have the advertisement and information on how to apply and how to obtain your paper applications. In addition, site signs of advertisement will be made in English, Spanish, and Chinese and placed on the building, on the visible to see on the fencing. As you know, percentages of the building are split out. In addition to the community board units, which I'll discuss in a second, there is also units for ADA compliance, as well as hearing impaired and audio impaired, as well as government employees. So after taking those small groups away and the supportive, it leaves us 50% of the building is marketed to the community board. That is 60 units. After the 60-day marketing period, HDC will set a date for the paper application entry, and that who've applied through the mail. A log will be generated, and we'll start batching the process.
Why?
Why do you care if HDC then?
Why you care? I don't see.
Because you look bad. And
Excuse me. Somebody could put their phone on mute.
I'm sorry, I got it. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't think I insulted anyone quite yet.
Not yet, Larry. Thank you.
You haven't,
I don't
you
think
haven't
so,
gotten to
Eddie.
know me well.
I don't think so, Larry. This is going to be a good meeting here. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
So again, after the 60-day marketing period, a log will generate on Housing Connect. They'll start batching for the first supportive and the community board preferences. So best case, February 10th is the end of the period. My guess, tenants will be moving in April, probably. We may have the supportive tenants in first because we don't have to worry about them through the Housing Connect. But I would say the community board, the ADA, the government workers will all get posted, and that's about it. There's a chart that I sent around. It shows there's a rendering of the building, the address, as well as the available units and income bands. This building is 30% to 70% AMIs. So we have it's called, so there's a weighted average towards 60%, but there's certain levels of income, and there's a breakdown of the units available. This building has studios, 1s, 2s, and 3s. And that is about it. So we hope to go live this month, 60 days to generate our list. We recently did the same for our Jerome Avenue project, which is much bigger than this. But to give you an idea, we generated 47,000 inquiries on Housing Connect. So we expect robust interest, and happy to answer any questions about us, the program.
Okay. Mr. Gordon, you said something about WavePress. Will that be the management company that's gonna?
No, I'm sorry. Doe Fund manages its own portfolio of properties. We have a real estate department here. John McDonald, who's on the call with me, is our EVP of real estate. And Wavecrest has just been hired to do this marketing plan of the 119 units.
Meaning that they're just gonna screen the application process and the.
Yes, correct. And they will interview the tenants as well, but we do the lease signings. But yes, it'll all happen on site or at one of our other buildings in the Bronx. Yes.
Okay, so another question I have, if you don't mind. You said I see the projections of the AMIs, which is very comforting because it's in reach for a lot of the residents in our district. However, you said something about after the, what was it, 60 apartments, it was going to be for the 30 supportive apartments, right?
31, yes.
31.
Sorry, 31.
And so the 119 units, those units are going to go on Housing Connect for the general public, and from there, the 50% preference will be pulled.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. There's a stacking order. The first order of priority are the ADA units. I think you'll see a percentage of units is set aside for mobility and vision and hearing impaired, a total of 7%. So it's, yeah. So there's
And you said something
waterfall.
about seniors moving in first?
No, the HRA referrals, only because we don't have to worry about a 60-day marketing plan. So we'll probably start with our 31. We've hired the program director, and we're working with HRA on screening tenants for that now.
Okay. And there was one more thing. So about the staffing of the 31 supportive apartments, that would be just for those individuals that reside in those apartments?
Well, I mean, the answer is yes, but
Technically.
if somebody comes to our program staff with a family issue, a senior issue, a veterans issue, we're well versed in handling and helping people. We're a full service operation, but technically we're there to help. We have a service contract, but our doors are open. The program directors certainly. Each of our program directors has a minimum of a master's degree, and has years of experience in in housing and, family issues. So our
So
doors are open.
the building's equipped with cameras only on each floor?
Oh,
or is
you
it
wouldn't
only
believe our former head of our head of security was a New York cop for 20 years. We've got lots of cameras.
Okay.
Lots of
Also,
cameras.
I'm just wanted to say one thing. This sounds like a great program. How, from what I'm hearing, it's just that the 15% preference to DO, DOH, is that included with the supportive housing?
I'm sorry.
I understand that 15% of the developments that are being new developments have a 15% set aside for homeless people. Is that included in the 31%, or is that different?
We have a support. This is, if you will, 20% supportive and 80% lottery.
Okay.
So low income to,
Okay.
right. Let's just
Whatever
call low
the
to
host.
moderate income, 30 to
Okay.
70% AMI. That's
Okay.
the only set asides are the mobility and hearing impaired, the government workers, and the community board.
Okay, and the government municipality is what, 5%? Is it, or does?
It is 5%.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's it for my questions. Anyone in attendance? Do you have any questions?
I don't see no hands, but I have a question. I have two things. For
Okay.
Larry, the 20% for DSS. What's the population?
Well, I'd prefer not to mention it because of HIPAA rules, but we get our referrals from HRA, and it's a population. It's a population we work with in about 5 other properties.
That's fine. That's fine. The second thing is you mentioned issues with Con Edison. I know when I took the tour with Peter and the council member requested a detailed email with the issues, so that he can forward it along to Con Edison. So I don't know if you guys did that.
I had a conversation with Peter today on another matter, but I'll follow up with him tonight.
Yes.
And give him a report.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, when I took the tour, it was very unexpected because I had happened just to bump into the council member, and he was meeting with Peter. But I did take a tour of the building. I saw a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and they have some 3 bedrooms. The shape of the building is weird because it takes up the whole block on Westchester between Fox and Tiffany. So it's a very long corridor, like a long hallway. Nonetheless, the apartments were really nice. They each have their own Havoc system, like a central air system for each. And then the 3 bedrooms had two Havoc systems for the apartment. They have a storage space, a bike space, the commercial storefront, as Larry was mentioning, and it was built on time. So no delays.
Yeah.
They had the issues with homeowners on Fox Street, but they resolved that amongst themselves, and there were no complaints, as far as I know, regarding this construction.
That's wonderful.
We also have a bike storage, on-site laundry.
Yeah.
And
the laundry is on every floor, by the way. There's a laundry room on every floor. So, which is a good thing there.
Yes.
And we have a private terrace on the 2nd floor.
That's right.
Beyond the program space.
And a separate entrance was going up there for the social staff there. So, the supportive staff, right? So,
and like that's where the guard, the security will be at the front door.
So, as far as from what I saw, there were really no issues. I know the council member had no issues with this. So, we have 2 hands raised. Maggie was first, and then Ray Arroyo.
Hi. My question is about the porter's jobs and the super jobs. Are they already filled, or are you hiring for those positions?
We're hiring. We have an HR department. I've mentioned to them that we need staff. Someone's got feedback. I don't know. Sorry. The answer is, if you have a resume you'd like to send me, please do so, and I'll forward it to our HR department.
Would that also be through Wavy Crest? They'll be handling that also, or that will be
Yeah, just us.
Okay, thank you.
but send it sooner than later.
Next, we have Ray Arroyo with his hand raised.
Hey, just wanted to comment. I'm having major issues with Con Ed as well. I just finished a little 5,000 square foot building project, and they've been putting me on for months. So my suggestion to you, Larry, is anyone you can get involved with. I work in real estate, and my colleagues have had entire buildings held hostage by Con Ed. So I feel your pain, and definitely would encourage you to incorporate anyone you can, as I'm doing.
Right. Fortunately, we're sort of considered a public trust, so affordable and supportive housing, we get the city to fight on our behalf. But thank you for your sympathy. It's National Grid and Con Ed did not make it easy. That's for sure.
No.
Next up, we have Jonathan Martier with his hand raised. Jonathan.
Yeah, hi, how are you guys? I'm relatively new to this. I'm a new member of the committee, and I think one major question I have is I know my grandfather, he's applied through Housing Connect, and for the 50% that's set aside for Bronx Community Board, people who live within the district, would that appear on the lottery? And if so, when would the lottery open up for people who live within the district?
I honestly am not well versed.
I can answer that. So Jonathan, I know that there's a preference, as Larry was mentioning, with the ADA, the ADA, the mobility and the vision, right? And then the municipal workers. But normally from there, they clearly want to make sure that they meet the 50% for the community board. We have no say in their, Wavecrest. They hired Wavecrest to handle this part, right? But we have no say. What we can ask Larry now, kindly, is when you reached your cap, right? When you have all your vacant apartments filled, can you just let us know the breakdown, like if you actually met the 50% requirement from community board 2, because normally we
By
would
zip
ask
code.
by zip codes, and management company, with HPD won't give that information up at all, because they're saying that it's confidentiality, right? But we're not asking for names and addresses. We just want to know how many people from our respective zip codes were accepted, not only accepted, actually moved in. Because like you said, this is 150 apartments. I think you're going to get 50,000 applications here easily.
Yeah, we had our Jerome Ave 255 units and we got 47.
Yeah. So if there's a way, once Wavecrest is complete, Wavecrest is familiar with this from us.
Oh yeah,
we also have
they do a lot of Peter's work as well, Ralph.
Yeah, we have a committee member on this committee. He's not here now, unfortunately. Paul Martinez. So Paul Martinez works for Wavecrest. He has a portfolio of buildings, and we can also follow up with Paul, just to give us a number. Like you had out of the 60 units, you had 30 from 10474 and 30 from 10459. That's all that we can do,
Yeah,
John.
Ralph, I'm happy to help you, but if you don't mind reminding me in the spring,
Yeah, that's fine.
When we're doing this,
like I said, Paul is a
Sure.
part of this committee. We can follow up with Paul with that.
Sure.
As long as we're transparent with you and John regarding this.
we're open books. We're happy to give you the information.
So Jonathan, I hope that answers your question. Like we can't get, all we can get is the number of. We know that it's 60 apartments, and since the Housing Connect and Housing Connect 2.0, where we're at now, there hasn't been any issues. We follow up with HPD with this, and Jonathan, like you said, you're relatively new. Maggie and Paula have been adamant on, making sure that we get that 50% back to the community board, because there's always been issues in the past before it went electronically, the Housing Connect, when it was actual paper applications, there was always issues that they never met the requirement, the community board preference. But now we're knowing, and the way it's breaking down, they'll screen out the board residents right? And some can get accepted, but when it's time to actually move in, they might not be ready to move in. Things might come up. So then they already have a list of community board members that applied and were passed the screening, and then they'll just keep going down the list until they meet that requirement. At one point we wanted our 50%, and hopefully anyone else in the general lottery, the other percentage, if they were from the community board also, but they don't do that no more. They just take the 50% from the community board. Once they meet that number, then they open it up to the general lottery. But their preference is also the community board residents, because they know those are the most difficult. Because out of, let's say, the 40,000 applications that they receive, and we only get in 60 apartments, we'll probably have about 2,000 or 3,000 residents from our district apply. Even if it's 1,000 residents, just look at the numbers: 1,000 residents for 60 apartments. So it is a lottery process. But if none of the first 60 can make it, they have a list already of board members that applied, board residents that applied. So not members, excuse me, board residents. So I hope that answers your question, Jonathan.
Does, thank you.
Okay. I don't see no more hands raised, Madam Chair.
Sorry,
Thank
Ralph.
you. And I'm so
Ralph, how
glad.
many zip codes do you have?
I'm sorry?
How many zip codes are in your community board?
We have
Three.
three.
Right.
We are complete
104, 55, 59, and 74.
Yeah, but 10474 is 100% board 2. 10459 is like 85%. And then 10455, we're like 15-20% of those zip codes.
Okay. Well, we're in 7-4, the building, so that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, your building is in 59, Larry. 10459.
Oh, maybe my other building. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take your word for it.
10459.
I hope I'm not lying to the city.
No, you're not lying to the city. They would have picked
Okay.
up on that. So, but we're fine with that. And Madam Chair, I don't see no other hands raised.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gordon, for an in-depth, very explanatory presentation. I appreciate it, and job well done. I'm so happy that you guys were able to do what you committed to do and on time. Thank you.
Thank you. And not to give you any guilt, but nobody's ever taken us up on it. I guess Ralph did, but we'd be happy to show you this building or another building in the Bronx just to get you comfortable with what we do.
No, I just happened to be driving and saw the council member, and he's like, "Hey, I'm meeting with Peter right now." So I pulled over and I walked in, and I had to wait a couple of minutes to get a hard hat,
Right.
And then we went up to the roof, and then we worked our way down. So it was only in 15, 20 minutes. But
Right.
in that span, Peter did mention about the Con Edison issue. So that's how come I know what the council member had requested.
Sure.
Yeah, and then I had asked Peter kindly, listen, we need the Dole Fund to give us an update because you guys are moving fast here, and there's no concerns that I can think of. However, it needs to be brought up to the committee, so that the committee knows where we're at. And this is a public meeting, so at least we're on record now that you guys did present and are moving ahead, full steam ahead. So thank you so much.
Anytime. We're happy to answer any questions.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much. And you guys have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you. Everyone.
Thank you so much. You too.
We still got our meeting going. So.
I know.
So we're signing off.
Yes.
Okay. Thank
Take
you.
care, everyone.
Thank you.
John, thank you.
Okay, so moving on with the agenda. I'm sorry, you said something? Moving on to the agenda, is there any old business?
I have old business, but it's going to be brought up in the announcements.
Okay, so is there any new business?
I have new business. It's going to be brought up in the announcements.
All right, so let's get to the announcements.
All right, okay. So this week on Saturday, we have the council member and the Southern Boulevard bid are doing their annual coat drive. This year is going to be held at the council member's office, starting at 10 o'clock. I don't know how many coats. They're gonna have a few. Probably like 1,000 coats is for the kids. Young. I don't think even young adults. I think they go up to like size 16 or something like that. Normally it's at the
Okay.
bank, but because of the pandemic, everything, is tightened up. And we've already
When
received
is
word
it?
from the council
Oh.
member's office. They have their volunteers already, because normally the community board members volunteer for this event. However, they are restricted on the number of people allowed in their office at any one time. So they already have their volunteers, and they kindly ask us to let our board know that. So
Yeah, they usually do a good job, the volunteers there. We just, stand around and look because they have that whole thing areas with their staff and the volunteers doing the things I noticed with other events that he has as its office. So that's good.
right,
And it's better that we like, when we hang around, we're able to like man the line and make sure people are taking advantage of different things, inviting people over to come on. So that's pretty good. We
right.
know they run a tight ship and it's done well. I'm so glad it's at his office because when we had other things like the food drive, the dog drive, the food drives, and it just went so smoothly. And I'm happy with that process.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving on, we have this new building at 1115 East 165th Street. It's called the Bryant. They had just completed their application process, and this was something that the board was not aware of. Um, but we will be following up with the provider, and asking them to be good neighbors and at least make a presentation to the community board on what's happening at this building here.
Is that building that was around the corner from Westchester and Bryant?
Yeah, on 165th.
It's finished already. Yeah, the one where
It's finished
PRC
already.
they took the basketball thing, right?
Yep, it's finished already. So we'll be
Wow.
following up.
And they already had the application process?
Yep. According to this, right? And this was something that was taken off of Instagram, right? Closing on 12/3/21. So it's 24 units. So at least 12 should be coming back to us. And I think that, as you can see, the preferences for NYCHA and Board 2 residents. So that's how we found out about it, because they tagged us.
Yeah, but when they came for the presentation, we made that very clear to get in touch with us with that process. How
Correct.
that
Correct. So we'll follow up with them with that.
Yeah, well,
Similar
that's the
amount to
issue
what we
because
decided with the Dual Fund. Very
that's
similar.
been an issue, Ralph. We got to watch them because that's what these developers do. They come and they make agreements, and then when it's time to do the agreements, adhere to the agreements, they just do what they want, and that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, thank you. I was on your.
Oh, wait a minute. Just to make sure, for the coat drive, the kids have to be present.
Okay.
Not gonna, distribute any coats to just adults claiming to be parents, and the kids are somewhere else. So, this is just, we get from the landmark preservation. I always get updates on the permits and stuff like that. I did follow up with Ray Arroyo with this one, because the one that was really pressing here, we have one already going up on Dawson Street that was already issued, and then we got two that are filed. So we're just paying attention to that. And I know that Ray came to get a letter of support from us a year and a half ago. So Ray is aware of that. So we just want to make sure, since
There's one on Dawson and one where I can't really see.
Dawson and
Landmark.
Kelly Street, 739
Dawson.
Kelly Street.
Oh, 739.
Yeah.
Where's 739 at? Oh, it's down here where Prospect Hospital was, right?
Yep, over that way. So
Yeah.
let's move on. Just some improvements that are happening on Southern Boulevard that I received a letter from DO design of, or DDC, the design of construction. And what's there's a couple of things that are happening here throughout the borough. But for us, on construction of 2 bus bulbs on Westchester Avenue, between Prospect and Longwood, which it doesn't that's not construction of 2 bulbs on Westchester Avenue at the northeast and southeast corners, and build out with concrete sidewalk and curb of 2 operational curb extensions on the north and southeast corners. So this is going to be on Longwood and Prospect, and because that's right on the Prospect train station. So these
Okay.
2 are going to be on our side. Actually, they're going to be almost like where Open Arms is. But there's no parking that's being lost here, and we're always looking for pedestrian improvements, safety improvements. So that's what we just wanted to notify people on that. And this is just a I think there's a map of it on here. So this is where it's going to be at exactly. So moving on. It's the same one. So we received this document. The chairman actually got mailed to the Southern Boulevard bid, and the chairman got and gave it to us. So we've been asking for this building, 883 Bryan Avenue. We've been trying to reach out. I was actually back and forth with Ted Weinstein from HPD this morning. They are looking to build senior housing here, and they're using private money with this, but they need HPD. They need some funding from HPD. So I'm trying to get Ted to invite these guys to come, maybe even next month, to give us a presentation on what they're exactly looking to do here. They have actually 2 buildings in our district. If I'm not mistaken, there's one on Fair Street that they're also looking to do. They're just moving ahead with this one. But I just want to put this on this committee's radar regarding well, it says 887, but it's actually the lot is 883 Bryan Avenue.
Is that the veterans thing there down there?
No, they're not doing veterans here. This apparently they're supposed to build veteran housing also. Their other building. But right for this building now is gonna be seniors, is what they filed it with HPD as. But they're looking to get the tax incentives, is what Ted Weinstein is telling me, which is the 421A program. But we'll
It's a what? 421A?
Yeah, the 421A program is a tax incentive program. So that's that it's not funding, but is a way of waiving certain taxes. So that's what that's for. But
and it's a senior development, right?
Yes, apparently what they told us is going to be a senior development. So that's
we need more of that.
Yeah, but we got to follow up with them also. So that's all the announcements that Cynthia has here for us. But now I see Ray Arroyo has his hand raised.
Sorry, guys, I was muted. No, I just wanted to elaborate on the application that you guys approved for landmarks. So as I mentioned to Larry earlier, the building is completed. The space is beautiful. The tenant is ready to move in, but I'm still waiting for Con Ed. But just to give you an update, the tenant is going to be the name is Swati Yetu, Center for African Women. They're a not-for-profit that has city contracts to help with domestic violence and a multitude of women issues. So they're actually in the building already. I moved them into a temporary space until I can get the Con Ed issue resolved. But I should have my certificate of occupancy and everything very shortly.
Nice.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ray.
No, you're welcome.
No other hands raised, Madam Chair.
Excuse me, what did you say? That was it?
Yeah, I don't see no other hands raised.
Okay, so that is it for our meeting. What is that last update on? Oh, that was the was that the information, the stabilization
there is something. There is here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
When the pandemic started, Nicole Jordan was at DHS at that time, and they needed to get homeless individuals from the trains off the trains. They opened up 3 locations, one on Bruckner, one on Longwood, and one on Kelly. These private houses for transitional settings for these individuals. It was a total of about, I think, 80 in the 3 dwellings. So DSS just notified us that they already moved them all out. They all back back at their BRC facilities. So what I wanted them to do was like close out any contracts they have with the landlords there. I don't think they're going to do that just yet. But it is somewhat good news. It just shows that we're moving ahead. The city is pushing ahead clearly. So they moved out all the individuals at these locations, the stabilization beds.
Thank you.
No problem. That's it then, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. What a great meeting. And there's nothing more fascinating about the fact that it's 20 minutes to 7. And can I have somebody on the committee doing an adjournment for the meeting?
Make a motion.
Make a motion, I'm sorry.
I make a motion, Love Betancourt.
Love, you're not
Okay.
on this committee, love.
I
Oh, I'm
second.
not, sorry.
Yeah. So
I
Jeffrey,
second the motion.
No,
you gotta make the, no, Charlie
have to
makes
make
the
it.
motion. Charlie Samboy made the motion, Jeffrey seconded it. We're good.
Okay, just a Charlie and Jeffrey.
And you have 8 committee members, 5 are present.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, good night, everyone. Have a happy
Good night.
holiday season.
Bye.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Happy holidays.
Have
You
a good night,
too.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Cindy, you got the chat?